Sunday Sharpe, do 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 do. Sunday Sharpe, do 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 do. Sunday Sharpe, do 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 do. Ah, hello, hello, hello. Greetings, salutations, willkommen, bienvenue, ciao, hola, howdy, g'day, and whichever greeting you prefer in your nationality or locale. Hope all are well this week. Don't worry, we don't have some weird disco effect lighting going on over there. That is just wind blowing things outside through door and reflections. Before anyone goes, what the heck's going on with that? It's not a ghost either. I know I look like one, but it's not me that's the undead around this house. Why you shouldn't put your lighter back in your pocket when you're doing live streams. Oh, pardon me, starts with me to go on. So, dear viewer, how have you been? How was your week? I hope it was fine, dandy, and wonderful. Mine has been a week of ups and downs. Mostly ups, a scary down, then ups again. We'll start with the scary down. Electric bill this week, 3 months worth. Yeah. I remember my electric bill was about £10 a month. Yeah, a little more than that now. Add a zero and a bit. And I pay it every 3 months. So, oh, yes, so that was a bit of a frightening one. And the water bill as well. Water bill's never too bad, actually, so can't really grumble about that. The courgettes that were planted for, well, let's be honest, feeding placos are doing well. We have, I think, 17 courgette plants come up, seedlings, that are currently under makeshift mini cloches. In other words, I cut a bunch of Coke bottles in half and just turn them upside, plop over the top, just protect the seedlings from birds. We do have pigeons and stuff around here that will quite happily eat them. And although I have put the copper tape around both of the containers, just a bit of extra snail proofing. So that's good news on that front. Other good news, the outdoor tub is, oh yeah, electric is, yeah, it's ludicrous. It's, yeah. And yes, and welcome Brennan, Misfit Reptiles and Aquatics. Yeah, tired but good. And Rebecca, Freshwater Ichthyology. Hello, my dear. How are you? Hope you don't mind me saying, my dear. I'm just an old fart. Old enough to be your dad, so there you go. But yes, so the outdoor tub is up and running. My summer tubbing. The mollies that were in there for a week cycling it have been moved out to pastures new and green. They're in the pond. I didn't feel safe putting them back in any of my fish tanks, to be honest. But the shrimp have gone in. So what was the skittily tank just down there, it looks rather dark and empty, is because it's dark and empty with nothing living in it at the moment. Other than the air, it's all switched off and it shares the air pump with this tank. So, yeah, not gaining anything by turning it off. Electric bill has been a bit of a shock, but no different. Oh, yeah, pay as you go electricity is ludicrous. Yeah, I've been switched without my choice. The company that I was with sold to another company, so yeah, never mind. I'm doing what I can to try and keep things low so the tanks are running as cold as they dare, and while it's a bit cooler at the moment, keeping the door shut so I'm overheating, but tanks are better. So yeah. Also, one of the reasons for moving the shrimp outside for a few months. Um, let's see if they do any better. See if we get. We got three options. We're either going to end up with about as many shrimp as we put in, we're going to end up with no shrimp, or we're going to end up with hundreds of shrimp. And we'll see what happens. And it's an experiment, but there was maybe 100 shrimp went in there, so we shall see what happens. I know that sounds like a lot of shrimp for an experiment, but it cleared a tank out. And Keith is here. Good evening, sir. Mr. Caged Aquatics. Keith spelled with an EITH, but given where I'm from, it is pronounced with an F. So Keith. Yes. But anyway, other than that, other upsides of the week, we have more shelly dwellies, more Neolampologus similis, which I've literally noticed today. Yeah, more new spawns of those. So there are in excess of 40 shell dwellers now in a 15 gallon. A little overstocked. Yeah, Keith. I mean, technically my accent would be Keith, but I've developed the lazy parts of that accent. Um, I've developed the lazy parts of the accent from every part of the country I've lived in. And I've lived in Norfolk so long, I'm starting to sound Norfolk as well. If I start calling you Ba, you know we got Norfolk. The other female Limia perugiae has unexpectedly spawned as well. I don't know why I say unexpectedly. It was just one of those where I didn't notice that one had given birth. No, they normally go from chonk to skinny, but yeah, basically the chonk one is now the skinny one, and the skinny one is now the chonk one. Yeah. Two females, one male, and they on a cycle. So we've got about another dozen, maybe 20 little limia swimming around in that tank. Better than the female patient passing gas, yeah. And also the Pelvicochromis subocellatus, the posh cribs. They spawned last week. They spawned a few times, but either the eggs got eaten or the wrigglers got eaten. But this time, they seem to have done their job because the wrigglers are now basically free swimmers. So it looks to be between 40 and 50 of them. So we'll see what happens there. Evening, Ritash, or Ricky, whichever you prefer today. So yes, more new fisheries. So might be a good job that I've cleared a tank out because then it gives me somewhere to put babies. Extra space. Although if I do take any of the Pelvicochromis out, they will go in with the snails because the amount of mold in there will give them plenty to eat. I think that's about it. We've not had any deaths that I've noticed. Yeah, none that I've seen anyway. If there have been, it's something small in here that's like a molly or a black neon or a. Actually, I think one of the Choprodanios has disappeared, so they were old anyway. And it's probably been eaten by either snails or Corydoras or something else, which is why I've not seen a body floating around anywhere. And yes, we do have more molly fry in there as well. at this point, as I'm looking to looking to move on the mollies. Um, yes, we're leaving the fry to become live food now. Because I'm hoping if I can clear the mollies out of big tank, I will then move the Limia Perugier in. This is to me at least, are a more interesting fish. They're rarer. Yeah. Without wishing to sound Johnny Downer on things like mollies, they're mollies. I find the Limia nippy at all, not the Perugier. No, they've been absolutely chill. I've heard some of them can be the humpbacks and some of the other flavours of Limia, but these ones aren't. They look basically like a wild guppy. Um, yeah, if you see the female guppy in the shop that's got no colour on her whatsoever, pretty much. They're they're actually a very pretty fish, and they've got very attractive blue spanglies. So when they catch the light right, they do pop. So I'm not sure whether they are endangered, at risk, or whatever. I think they're only found in something like 7 streams, so chances are they're probably endangered or on the edge. And I know they used to be a very popular aquarium fish, but not so much anymore because they're not brightly coloured like muck guppies or platies or mollies or endlers. Or any of the other more normal live bearers that people will keep. Yeah, I enjoy them. They're fairly chill. They don't do too much zoomy. Yeah, and as I say, they are wild type. They're natural type. They're not line bred for any particular feature. They're blooming hardy as well. I've got none of the genetic weaknesses or problems that you get when you inbreed something for generations and generations and generations for a specific trait. Yeah, so they get along with the cribs fine, the subocellatus and the bristle noses, and that's all that's in there really. Well, there's some trumpet snails, but they get everywhere. We might gonna have to move one of the male bristle noses out because 2 male bristle noses in a 17 gallon or 64 litre is a bit. Yes, they do have the occasional slight scrap, but I did think one was a female. It turns out it's not. It was just very late developing bristles and red patch on its head. That's the lemon blue eyes. So yeah, I found somewhere they were cheap and I took a chance, and it was a male. Bugger. But given the state of everything around here, do I really need another pair of bristlies breeding? Probably not. Although, again, those ones, more money. And what else have we been up to? Well, as the title of today's stream, been Splorin. The Wild Mary and I went for a bit of a hike around Thetford Forest, down past the River Ouse, spelled Little Ouse, not Great Ouse, spelled O-U-S-E, not O-O-Z-E, not that kind of ooze, not like a separating saw. Pretty little river, pretty little church that is haunted, and we may have filmed a few videos at, and has ties to the Knights Templar and the Masons. So yeah, interesting. And from there we had a bit of a wander around the forest, taking a hiking trail. Um, Missed the things we were going to look for. There's apparently a holy spring and a medieval burial mound, which we completely missed. So we'll have to look again next time, see if we can find them. Yeah, so we're definitely sorted on Friday videos for a month or more now. So that's it. And I've got a fair few fishy videos as well pre-recorded. So we're ahead. No panic. Oh my god, what can I film this week videos for a while anyway? Oh, pardon me. And just to warn, there might be a short this week. I know I said there might last week and I forgot. Or could be bothered, one or the other. But there might be a short about baby cribs. Do, mummy cribs, do, daddy crib, do. Yeah, you know, it's going to have to be done. What you got for tea today, Ricky? So yeah, so we did that. We were wandering around the forest for basically an hour and 3/4. So we didn't see any of the other things we wanted to see, but lots of gorse and beech forest and pine forest and wild rhododendrons, heard a cuckoo, uh, lots of squirrels around, plenty of bunny sign, fox spraint, I think is the technical term, fox log. That might have been badger, but I think probably fox. And yeah, and literally just as we got back to the car, as I was finishing my I need a ciggy. Yeah, just as I was finishing it, the heavens opened, and all the people who'd just gone down onto the river on their paddle boards got rather wet without falling in. And anyone else who was halfway around the walk. Because it's one of those where there's no shortcut straight back to base camp. It's a big loop around the forest, and we did shortcut. So we only did a few miles with the 5. Yeah, anyone who's halfway around got absolutely drenched because it threw it down. M&C Aquatics, good evening. How the devil are you today? Hope all is well, or at least on the improve. Because getting better is better than getting worse. And I wish someone would knight me. So Sharpe. So Sharpe of Shite Town, basically, it would be. Yeah. While we're here, do I fancy look around a few tanks? Better than my ugly mug for the entire 2 hours. So let's do that, shall we? Because the Shelleys have been especially, literally, as I say that, they'll dive and hide for cover. But you know what they're like. Cam section or stream section. So here we go with that's about straight. There we go. So with the Neolamprologus similis Shelly dwellies, as I say, blooming dozens of them in there now. So we do need to sell some of the adults to make some space. It would probably be the ones over this side, because it seems to be the ones over that side and the back that breed. As long as they're not all the males over this corner. So we don't really want to sell all the males if we can help it. But yeah, so you can see how many different generations of fry there are in there. You see really tiny ones, the slightly bigger ones, the slightly bigger, yeah. And if we come around, zoom. So Schnellies, need a water change, food bundle, or maybe a Snorgy. Super Reds, standard Bristlies, more standard Bristlies, escaped snails that shouldn't be in there. Oh, baby Limia Perugiae. More Super Reds, more standards. Another tank full of standards. And a Molly. I don't even know how the Molly got in there. Dee Dee, my darling, how the devil art thou? And then, another breeder box. Yes, full of bristly noses. And we've got the Molly Wollies doing the Molly Wolly things. And down. First floor. Albino Coriolis Aenus. Being all cute and sleeping together. Hello, Bert. We do appear to have some kind of longfin mollies as well, which is kind of weird. I'm pretty sure the pectorals aren't meant to be that long. I'm calling that one a butterfly molly. Hey, given what some people call their guppies, I can call that a butterfly molly. And down here we have the Val I got last week from the garden centre. Dominant male Nanakara down there. Missing Nanakara is probably in the buried coconut hut with the not so small big bob, Nerite snail. Then so that's where we got the baby Limia and pelvic chromis. That one right over there is the one that's got super reds in, and we can't get around to see the rest. And there's nothing wrong with a lazy day, Miss Dee Dee. You can make up for me. Akara didn't eat the mollies. Now the electric blue Akaras are just super chill. Actually, the fish in there that eats the molly fry is the Praecox rainbow, wherever he's hiding. Yeah, Praecox rainbow zooms after and gets all the molly fry, or the majority. Yeah, the Akaras, they don't bother anyone or anything. If anything, they get bullied. I mean, I've seen, because we got Nanakara down there in the cave, in the coconut hut. I've seen the female Nanakara, who is at most 1.5 inches long, and she's Diddy. Seen her chasing off the full-grown electric blue Akaras, and they run, swim, and they are super chill fish. They even enjoy a fuss and a belly rub, a bit of a stroke from time to time. They do bite. They do have teeth, so if you do, be a bit careful. They might draw blood at very best. It's going to be like getting a finger prick blood test. Do have invasive green anti-silk lure. Yeah, So the silk blue are the standard blue Acara, which are an aggressive species. I forget what the electric blue was crossed with, whether it was a ram or. But to get the electric blue, it was crossed. I mean, it might have been crossed with a Nanacara, but they're fairly aggressive despite their size. But yeah, the electric blue is a man-made species, so it's a hybrid. It's a Mutacara. And I think whatever they were crossed with to get the colour, because I think it was an accidental one at first. It might have been rams, something like that. Something's telling me electric blue ram, accidental cross, and some basically became Acaras, but electric blue, and then it got carried on, and now we have electric blue Acara as a stable strain. But yeah, because I've seen the bronze Acaras are absolutely gorgeous. They're basically the same colour as a wild carp. Before people got around thousands of years and messed with carp's colorations and made kois. So yeah, so the bronze Acara is gorgeous, but it is full on psychocichlid. So if I put bronze Acaras in there, they would eat all the mollies. I would eat all the neons, the nanacaras. Yeah, and I'd probably eat everything but the bristle noses and maybe the cories. Like the electric blue Jack Dempsey. Yeah, I mean, it might have been electric blue Jack Dempsey that they were crossed with. Although the Jack Dempseys aren't particularly chill. But yeah, I mean, I say these guys are just so laid back and chilled. I'm literally, they'll just sit there and a molly fry will swim right across their nose. They won't even open their mouth. When I put food in there, they go nuts for it. If I don't put food in, they start splashing. But they have a routine. First of all, they start coming over to this end of the tank because I sit over there, and they start doing their feed me dance. If that doesn't get my attention and they think I'm shirking my duties, they then start splashing on the surface. And if that doesn't get my attention quick enough, they start banging into the lid. That's as aggressive as they ever get. It's just when they want to be fed. Even when it's that time of the month, because they are both males, and they get territorial, they'll lip lock each other, but that's it. And they'll only do that a couple of times. Barely enough to scuff their snouts. Yeah, they're just awesome fishies. I think Dee Dee's got some as well. Yours just as chill, Dee Dee? Or have I got the world's most laid back ones? They were even more chill when I had 3 of them in there, but Donkey managed to give himself brain damage, basically. Pretty much. Keep my EBJD. It's easier to say electric blue Jack Dempsey. Pardon me. Paulines or Paulines, Paulines, whichever you want to call it. Yeah, I say Jack Dempseys can hold their own. Yeah, it's amazing how small a cichlid can chase off a fairly large fish. And then some just really suck at it. When I had German rams, they weren't the electric blue, they were just standard German blue ram, and some were charging and pecking away at the yo-yo loaches, and the loaches were just like, whatever, and just carried on eating the eggs. Didn't even pay the slightest bit of attention to the rams. which was a very sad thing to see. And I didn't get a camera and film it or anything. It was just like, yay, I've got eggs. I go to check about 5 minutes later. It's like, they're being eaten. Yeah. I got some tiny dual cichlids at one point, and the biggest one was, about a third of the size of the Acaras. And I woke up the next morning to all three of the Acaras at the time, all huddled up in one corner of the tank with chewed fins, chomp marks, missing scales. Yeah. Yeah. And then one of the dual cichlids, the Lipholili, the red jewels, decided to go after what I had then a Senegal bicher. It didn't end well. And bicher was fine. let's, let's just say the dual cichlid got a bit of a shock when the bicher turned around and took a chunk out of its stomach. As if you've ever seen a bicher attack its food, bicher, bitcher, bishir, whatever you want to call it. Pick up. I think technically the correct would be big ear. But that just sounds wrong. So, yeah, we know what we mean. Dino fish. Polypterus. It's not very often when the blooming scientific name is easier to say than the common name, really, is it? Yeah. Yeah, the dual cichlid got the shock of his life when our spazzy boy basically just turned around and went, "Arr! How dare you nip my tail?" I actually felt that. But again, Spaz, he was as chilled and laid back as possible. I mean, he ate everything that fit in his mouth. That wasn't him being aggressive. He wasn't aggressive. It was just, this fish now fits inside my mouth. I will eat it. So when the full-grown bamboo shrimp disappeared, and then the full-grown swordtails were disappearing, and the vampire shrimp, the Achigavenensis, started disappearing or vanished, it was like, yeah, sorry, buddy. It's time for you to move on. So how do you find your electric blue Acara, DD? Are they super chill and laid back and relaxed fish like mine are? Are they absolute hams for the camera like mine are? If I point anything remotely camera shaped at the tank, and if you've ever watched a video of anything in that tank, I can be filming a pleco cave and there will be an electric blue Acara swims into shot. Don't forget me. I'm pretty. Look at me. Why are you here? Feed me. Oh, fire went up my nostril. That's right. Don't need those nasal hairs. But yeah, so what else are we up to? So yes, when we went to the church, they did the usual tour around the outside. Oh, had a monster short body platinum camber mutt cichlid a long time ago. Real jackass. Yeah. By pulling the air tube out the sponge filter. Suffocated itself then. Hello, Alison. How are you? Yeah, not a fan of flower horns. I mean, they're kind of pretty, I suppose. It's just that I just want to pop that zip on their head. It's just like they've got a massive boil on their head that you need to lance. It's, it's it's the same thing with me with the goldfish with the brain on the outside. You know the ones? Looks like their brains coming out the top of their head. Not a fan of those either. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just a bit tired because lots of walking today, and spirit draining. Because yes, so the church, which is All Saints in Santon, not Santon Downham, the old village of Santon, which is no longer there, actually got buried in a sandstorm. Believe it or not, around her. That's the ones. Yes. Um, yeah, so we did normal video tour around the outside, bit of history. Same with on the inside. Very pretty little church. It's tiny. And then I did a first for me anyway. And it felt really dumb and really weird, and it felt like I was making really bad content. So it kind of felt like a normal video. But yeah, I mean, I think I only did maybe 10 minutes, but I actually did a paranormal investigation, which involved me sitting in what is known as the haunted pew and asking questions and reporting back on any experiences. Nothing, no, nothing happened noticeably that was caught on camera while we were there, unless that shadow in one of Mary's photos is actually something. But yeah, it was more of a feeling. Things have been seen and heard and what have you there, but so we're only there in the church for about 20 minutes. So, and it was midday. Scotty Scott, how you doing? So yeah, look for those videos coming up soon if you have an interest in a paranormal or English history or the Knights Templar. Because we've managed to smush all three together in a really small area. Yeah. Trying to remember what were this week's videos. What videos did I put up this week? Yes, the Warreners Lodge Friday. That is definitely a very interesting building. There's not many of those left. I'm trying to remember what Monday's video was. You really think I would remember what videos I put out, wouldn't you? Mind you, I sat there the other day thinking, oh, know what, I'll do a species profile on the shell dwellers. And then I looked, and I'd already done a species profile on the shell dwellers. Oh well, never mind. Oh, Alice is going on a crusade for a sausage roll. Oh, brown sauce or ketchup? That's the important question. Any of you guys remember the video I put out Monday? I really can't. What was it? Was it Turb? It was a fishy video I put out Monday. I don't know, I've recorded so many videos the last couple of weeks, I can't remember what I put out and what I haven't. Oh well, so I did a fishy video Monday. I'll do a fishy video this Monday as well. Again, I've got several recorded, so we shall see how I feel as to which one I upload tomorrow. Yeah, I think I'm good for content now for at least a month, so that's a result. Best fish in the world. Yes, thank you very much, Ricky. Yes, the clickbait video. Mr. Alien World Aquatics and Airsoft. Good evening, sir. Good evening, my alien friend, Mr. Foo Fighter. Well, not fighter, Foo Watcher. Oh, we could just call you Scott because, you know, it's easier. Outside plinking and filming. It's always better to do that outside, the plinking. You don't want to be finding tutu pellets all over the floor indoors, especially on hardwood floors. And ricochets can very easily go through a window. Don't ask me how I know that. And in a room with lots of fish tanks, that's a bad idea. Oh, while we're here, hugs to Paige. I do miss her giggle. We need to get you streaming again, Scotty, just so I can hear Paige's giggle and your awesome guitar skills. Literally just posted a new video of bolt action sniper. If you want to check it out, feel free to critique my shooting. Yeah, you're getting there. You're holding the gun in the right place and you're hitting the target. So, our cigarettes, as we can't say that word out loud, despite it being a basic English name for it. Still £10 a pack, or has it gone up? It's probably gone up. I think the cheap ones are now £10 a pack. Last time I looked, Marlboro Reds were like £13 or £14 a pack, which is probably about $20. Hello, Cheryl. Long time no see, my dear. And Matt, how you doing? It's not early, man. It's 20 to 7 at night. That is the evening sun setting behind me, or beside me. And that is really bright. Do I find scheduling videos gets more or less views than just public posting? Well, I schedule it as such as I put a video out on a Monday and a Friday. I don't do a specific time. And it all depends on the video. Some I think should get loads of views, get bugger all. Some I think should get bugger all views, get loads. Some of my still most viewed videos on a month by month basis are modeling videos I put out like 3 or 4 years ago. Whereas now I do a clickbait video like best fish in the world ever, and it gets about 30 views. It's never understand what is popular and what isn't. I give up. Yeah, exactly. So what I do is I make the content I want to make, the content I would find interesting or I would watch, in the vague hope that there are enough people that share an interest. It's one of those things where if a video gets picked up by the algorithm or someone shares it and it gets shared to a group with a lot of people in it, then you'll get a big spike. I mean, the shrimp water change video got a big spike of views when that got shared to a shrimp page. Probably people going, oh my God, this is horrific. You should never want to change your shrimp like this. Yeah, proof is in the pudding. Yeah, the shrimp were producing like crazy. That's why I was doing the water changes like I was. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, my most viewed videos are like unboxings of pets at home tanks. It's kind of sad, really. when you've done unboxings of fluval tanks and they get less views, but then possibly there aren't so many UK-based fish tubers. And I'm going to pull that curtain because I know I'm pale, but I ain't that pale. Oh, I'll put light on to make up for it. Ugh. That's better. I have colour again. Sharpe in colour. In Panavision. Technicolor. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird trying to work out what is going to do well as a video. I know it helps if you share it to different Facebook groups and pages and things like that, but a lot of Facebook groups these days get really snarky if you start sharing links to your own videos. Well, most probably is me talking about houseplants for the aquarium, and now I've concluded it really stunts the plant's growth. Yeah. Hey, stunting the plant's growth is not killing the plant. So, you're ahead of most people. Exactly. I mean, fish tubers notification. I'll, if I remember, I'll share a link there. But most of the other ones, and there are a couple of others. My thing is, I generally forget or just can't be bothered. But yeah, if actually, what I'll do is I'll try and make an effort to keep sharing, to share videos to groups to see what happens if the views go up, if I get booted from a bunch of different groups for shameless self-promotion, which has happened more than once in the past. Someone wants some advice on something and you've done a video on it, whether it be modeling, because I've done those, or fish keeping. They want some advice on a subject and you go, here, I did a video on it. Here's the link to the video. And it gets removed and you get a snarky message. We don't allow posting of videos here. Nobody watches YouTube anyway. But, yeah, they do. You'd be surprised. I mean, there are certain groups I go in just to troll, as Rebecca knows. There is one I joined last week, specifically to troll, and I am trolling already. Well, you'll have to let me know which ones they are, Rebecca, so I can post in those ones with impunity. A lot of people, it's like, oh no, don't spam it. You're spamming. It's like one post a week. Really? You class that as spam? Yeah. People with zero experience, though, couldn't crap. Yeah. And even if it's not that, it's it's he's not very good. No, he said and ah, and it wasn't in perfect order. Did you even make a script? No. At the most, I took some notes and scribbled them down in a notepad. Most of my videos, I go, that's a good idea for a video. I think I should film that. Grab camera, click. Howdy peeps, welcome back or welcome to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about, and start waffling about whatever the subject is. Yeah, I'll say this is it. So I know pretty well, I know pretty much, I'm sure if I was to start posting links to my videos in aquarium adventures, I think Graham wouldn't complain about it. Or Scott, whoever is modding over there, because they all know me. Now, same if I got a shrimp video, if I post that, a link to that in Aquarium Shrimp Keeping by Mark Shrimp Tanks, that'll be okay. But so many of the others, it's just, it's like Fish Tank Addicts. I know you can, but I'd probably get in trouble, so I don't. And speaking of Fish Tanks Addicts, here's a Mr. Dan, oh Danny boy, the pipes are calling. Oh yeah. Sorry, I got carried away with that one. I really should stop singing on my streams because I can't sing. I think that's part of the appeal. I do it so badly. Algorithms don't pick it up as copyrighted material. You know you're bad at singing when that happens. But yeah, so back to the beginning. Yeah, it's a lot of it depends on A, what the video is about, B, how you title it, describe it, tag it, B, where you post links of it to. You'd be surprised how many people will click on a link in YouTube and watch a video, but they won't go to YouTube, open up their subscriptions and see who's from tang to tang and down the gravel back to the bucket is where the fry go. If you don't have a cat to check for you. Oh dear. Sorry, I do apologise. I don't know why, because I'm never going to stop. I sing to troll people. That's my entire thing is trolling people, really. So I kind of had a bit of an existential crisis on Friday. I was watching the G-Man Graham at Aquarium Adventures, a live stream on Friday night, and he trolled himself. I'm sat there thinking, why do I exist? Hold up, if people are trolling themselves, why do I even exist? Basically, he was doing a giveaway. He's got new pens for merch, and he decided that the keyword that you had to type into chat was "pen is good," all as one word, which then came out as penis good. And he didn't realise. Sing the whole stream, you're sick of yourself. Yeah, but I'll be streaming for about 5 minutes before everyone else went, hell, I'm out of here. Now, if I listen to music, the times I sing along with it is unreal. To the point where I have to be careful. If I'm out and about and I've got headphones on and I've got some tunes playing, I'll forget and I'll start singing along in public. Which you think, okay, Sharpe, you haven't got a decent singing voice, but can't be that bad. Then you realise the kind of music I listen to. Walking down the high street singing Heresy by 9 Inch Nails, or Jesus Built My Hot Rod by Ministry, or Cruelty Bought the Orchids by Cradle of Filth. Or Nymphetamine Girl, that's a good one to sing. Especially when you don't realise you're doing it in like that style. So you're walking down the street and you catch yourself singing in a death metal growl. Yeah, that's not good. You're thinking, why am I getting weird looks? Oh crap, I'm singing. Whoops. Yeah, that's happened more than once. And I don't need noise cancelling headphones because that's what the volume control on normal headphones is for. You turn up to maximum, you can't hear anything else. So you can't hear yourself singing either. And one of the funniest ones was literally walking down the high street. Is she ultra violent? Is she disturbed? I better tell her that I love her. Before she does it all over again, know that she's killing. Yeah, if anyone knows what that song is, kudos. And I'll give you 5 minutes, and if I remember, I'll say what it was. Ricky's trying to confuse me. I want a Polypterus Marcella Mbembe. Looking for a week now. Surprised not available in Bangkok. I have everything normally. Things aren't supposed to exist. They have it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm not going to go down that line with Bangkok. There's clearly ACDC. That's one thing I won't sing along to because I haven't got a high pitched voice. I'm very much lower pitch. I'm not a bass, but I'm not. I'm whatever is one above a bass. Um, yeah, no, I'm not going for high notes. Uh, there's a reason I tend not to sing Nightwish songs. Female operatic soprano vocals, yeah, that ain't happening. Although Harvest, which was sung by Troy, I can do that because A, he's English, B, he's middle aged. Don't need any encouragement. Exactly. I've got no shame. I don't care. I mean, hell, if someone gave me a big enough super chat, I'd probably moon the camera. Um, ain't nobody want to see that though. There you go. Threats. Super chat this much or I moon. Yeah. Hey, I've got to pay the electric bill somehow, Alison. Yeah. When you've been being careful and it's you've not had any heating on and it's kind of a summer type bill and it still starts with a 3, that's a bit scary. Oh, we've got people replying to things on my YouTube videos. Hey, evening, Stillwater. I see you squeezing blood out of a stone. I was squeezing cash out of a government. Oh, thank you very much, Dan. Most appreciated. I am just joking. I don't ever expect anyone to do it. It all comes in useful. That will pay 1/3 of my month's phone and internet bill. Yes, I am on the maximum BT package for phone and home broadband. Yes, I pay less than £20 a month. Yes, I'm on a business account. Say no more. Exactly. Silver spoon sucking Eton boys. It's just an old boys club. That's all bloody government is. What they need is a house mother to come down there with a rolling pin and give them a damp and tea towel and give them a damn good thrashing. It's about the only person I respect on the face of the planet. Yeah, I get. That's me being polite as well. I'm personally, I don't reckon Johnson should have been allowed to apologise for Partygate. I think he should have either been straight out or given a decent fine based on the amount of money he has, and then put in stocks outside Parliament for a week for everyone to throw rotten veg at. And they grow great parties. Is there such a thing though? My favourite parties are the ones that everyone says was rubbish, involved in Wafflegate. Oh, I was going to get one of those T-shirt cannons as well. Yeah, where was I? I started thinking about firing tins of rotten tomatoes at Boris Johnson. Pleco mold. Oh yeah. Yes, water balloons filled with Pleco water change water. Oh, that'll be rancid. Or even better, pond sludge out of a good old, like my pond. You know, one that's not massively filtered and clean and lovely. One that's got build up of rotten sludge in the bottom of it. Kind of stuff that when you replace the liner because the old one had it, and you scoop most of it out and just chuck it on the garden because to me it's just wet soil, right? I can't smell anything. And then when you're on Facebook later the day, you're scrolling through, and there's a post on the local group about horrific stench. It smells like something's rotting and died, and blah 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 blah. You know. Oh, it's horrific. I'm thinking maybe pond sludge does smell then, because I did throw a few bucketfuls of it on the garden. Whoops. Never mind. There's been worse smells in this town. We have a chicken factory with drains that get blocked fairly regularly and back up. Yeah, that's not good. And it used to be Muggins' job to go down and unblock those drains because I couldn't smell it. Looks like it was Muggins' job to clean out the blood tunnel when that got blocked up as well. You only fell over in there once. Ugh. Yeah. So yeah, if you're clearing out your pond, that sludge, as wonderful as it is for the garden, don't. I've done that with other things, I think, as well. I've thrown out that apparently stank to high heaven. Probably Pleco water. Because I'm sitting here looking at 6 Coke bottles full of Pleco water change water. Daniels and hello. Both fish tanks moved successfully in the house mode. Great success. Excellent news. Went from Moon Super Jazz to throwing Pleco Doodoo at Boris. What's next? Oh, yeah. It's one of my streams, Alison. You never know where it's going to go next. Could be something sensible and deep thought and intellectual. Who are we kidding? Yeah, so glad for you, Dan. Get the fishy tanks sorted and the kettle plugged in. Which was first? Get the fish tanks plugged in or the kettles plugged in? It's always a close one. Yeah, now to unpack everything, which is taking a long time. It does. You don't realise how much crud you collect until you try to move house. And Jess is here as well. Hello, my dear. The Southern Belle. Men's tail, foot and fins of aquatic morning show fame. Fish tanks was my job, so I cracked on with that. Yeah, I'll do the fish tanks, you do the rest. Pretty much. Well, you can. Yeah, this the thing is. I mean, what are the first things you unpack in the house is coffee or tea making facilities, bed, toiletries, neither of which, none of which are really, you're going to get it wrong, let's be honest. Then kitchen stuff, which you're also going to get wrong because, things go in certain places. So yeah, it's going to be the fish tanks, your clothes, and any kind of, like setting up the TV and surround sound and that kind of stuff. The rest, you're just going to get in trouble for doing. And Dennis is here, or Dennis Squatch as I call him, Mr. Bigfoot Fish Tanks. Hello, sir. How are you? Only lost one. Geez, my cherry barb. Sorry. Looked rough before we moved, so it probably just finished off. Yeah, happens. Yeah. So you just lose one cherry barb. I'd call that a success. A great success. You probably lose more than that on a daily basis in the shop, so yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about it. Heck, you probably got more than that in the sump at the shop, so you just nick one out the sump and replace it. No notice. I have seen some fish in those sumps that I actually quite liked, and I have been tempted in the past to go, can you actually get the fish out the sumps? Because there's one in there I want. Or would that just be an absolute pain in the butt? Also managed to pair my clownfish and my marine tank, 200 litres. Sweet. So marine tank is that size. The Fluval Roma 200, which I got from you guys, delivered, ex-display model, so nice and cheap. Well, they were on sale already, and then I went and got the display model. So A, it was cheaper. B, I got it delivered that day. And C, I didn't have to build the stand. I got the Lido 200. DKF, Dan, is it the Lido you got or the Rio? It's the Dual, I think, isn't it? Ricky's back. Yes. Oh, we've got a full-on Corey snuggle in the flower pot now. Must be about half a dozen of them in there. How many gallons? It's I call it a 50-gallon jewelry. Yeah, I knew one of them. And I did have an idea of something I might have to see if I can hook up. Because the Jewel factory is less than 10 miles from me. Yeah, 55 US gallons is 200, yeah. So a 55 or 50, near enough. Imperial gallon, yeah. Proper gallons is probably about 45. Because a UK gallon is a lot bigger than a US gallon. Yeah, good size, big enough for most fisheries. And yes, it's one fish, two fishies, three or more is fisheries. And if they're equal tiny ones, they're bubblers. Those are the scientific and correct terms. And yes, Daniel Hibbert is indeed a Maidenhead employee. And Adele's here as well, collaboration of Curiosities 2.0. There's 1.0 went. It's the Norwich, not Cuts Maidenhead. Rebecca. Look, my local, which is why Dan's here. And why I rip the Mickey sometimes, and why we have a bit of a rant about customers as well. Yeah. I think most people who have been in the fish retail for any period of time have probably worked at a Maidenhead. You're Ascot. Looking for a branch manager. Ooh. Oh. Yeah. I wouldn't want to do it. Haven't upset anyone for a while. Dang. You've been off. Yeah, it's like anyone who works retailers in general has probably worked at Sainsbury's or Tesco or Aldi or Lidl. Ascot as an area is all money, no class. Exactly. All mouth and no trousers. They come in there in their Gucci and their Louis Vuitton, and then they complain about how much a better costs. And what do you mean I can't keep 5 goldfish in this 4-litre bowl? If you didn't love me so much. Pets at home. Yeah, I'd gladly work at Pets at Home if there was one I could get to. Although, I can't really imagine how well that would go down. Me, actually, probably most stores. Me working the fish section, yeah, it probably wouldn't go down too well with some. In Pets at Home, no. Right, what you do is you buy the tank. Yeah, it comes with this filter. Yeah. What you do is you throw that cartridge in the bin before you even use it. You get some of this sponge. You cut it to shape. You stick that in instead, and you'll save yourself the cost of one of these every month. That's not going to go down well. I'd need to troll myself on a daily. Oh man, you imagine with some of the names I give to fish. Born with class is not acquired. Yeah, I don't know. I know plenty of people who've been born to the upper classes who are just absolute trash. But yeah, money don't buy class. Money buys expensive things, and usually an attitude to go with it. Howdy, Bob. How you doing, sir, my friend? Hope all is well with you and your fishies and your reptiles. I was careful. I was going to say herpes, and then I thought, no, don't call them that. Don't don't say. Hope your herpes are good, Bob. Fishies, reptiles, doggos, kitties, birdies, everything else. And Barbara, hello, my dear. Good to see you too. Oh, yeah. And Becca's out for work as well. Try to find something else a bit quicker than I am. I'm coming up on a year of unemployment, but I've not actually been signing on, so I've not been a lazy scrounger taking from the public pot. I have been trying to make something of myself. Hello, Sherry. How are you? Nice to see you again. You are safe here. You can chat away as much as you like. We're a friendly bunch. Well, I mean, I might not be, but most of them are. I might take the mickey and troll you a bit, but that's just me. It's all meant with love and lightheartedness. Not too worried. Got PhD. It started in September. So 3 months. And most places understandably don't want someone for 3 months. That's only if you tell them. Because apparently these days, being in a job for a year is quite, people, well, no, people change jobs regularly nowadays. Having done the same job for 15 years doesn't look good on your CV. What? Can't do transfers with the NHS either due to how it works. Yeah. Oh, that went down the wrong hole. Oh, I'm sure we'll get. Oh, I think we're about to find out if you can burp out your lungs or not. Never mind. Oh, itchy nose. Ooh. This is what happens when you spend nearly 2 hours wandering around in a forest when all the gorse and everything is in full flower as well. Shortest was a month, longest 2 years. A month was teaching animal management for teenagers. Oh dear. My shortest was, trying to think, what was my shortest job? Probably the last one. Literally a year and 4 months. And the longest was 15 years. And that's the one I got made redundant from, which is where I got into the, I don't like working. Which is why it's taken me so long to find other jobs in future. I got to the point where it's like, you know what? I like this sitting on my butt not doing anything a lot more than I like making other people money. Just gave Milo Chihuahua an itchy booty shot. Slightly point for allergies. You can come home and give me one then, Bob. My hay fever. Ugh. As I say, being clagged up with hay fever and the after effects of the Rona and being a heavy smoker and slightly asthmatic, it does make long walks quite interesting. Shortest was 10 months as a bank teller when I quit at the second longest. Jeez. Makes note, do not become bank teller. Yeah, I'm guessing you're probably just dealing with snotty customers all day long. Vet dispenses, it lets me give it so he doesn't have to go in. Yeah, it's less stressful on Milo, and you know what you're doing. But yeah, thanks. So the crypts are doing crypty things. You just put them in the substrate and forget about them. And well, that one, whichever it is, I think it might be a Tropica, something like that. I trimmed about a foot off the top of that this week. Yeah. The new valve's doing okay as well, so don't use ferts. No ferts. Well, I mean, most of my tanks have got bristle noses in, so I don't need ferts. I've got poop factories. Kenny, hello, Kenny. Good evening, Mr. Danny Ken. How are you? I'm assuming it is Kenny. As I'm sure Danny probably doesn't know me by name quite yet. Half my job was after hours. You were an ATM. Yeah. Blacko Mole. Oh, heck. Let me grab. Oh. Let me just grab. Here we have one of 7 bottles of water change water out of this tank. Specifically, out of that filter. That's one of 7. And that's a week. That's not the fry rack, which you could literally take a shovel to. If the plants get the milk, what we're throwing at Boris. Oh, I've got plenty of mold to go around. Why am I saving it? Good question, Sherry. Because I am growing courgettes to feed to the plecos, and I'm using water change water with Malmy gunk as water and fertilizer for the courgettes, because plants grow really well with fish tank water, mainly because of the high amount of nitrates in it, and the nitrates come from the breaking down fishy poop. So you add that to the plants and the non-aquatic plants, and they grow really well. It's a very good thing to do. Plus, it saves having to pay for the sewage charge of pouring it down the sink. Put it to good use. I mean, heck, most of my water change water goes out in the garden, and I'm kind of regretting it now because it's growing really well, which means I have to keep cutting it, and I can't be bothered. Can't keep houseplants alive. The Amazon sword is taking over the tank. Well, that is the good thing about a planted tank. You can have houseplants, but you don't have to remember to water them. I like to drink it for a bit of extra protein and carbs. Oh, my IBS. Can you imagine if I drank a bottle of water change water? Oh, it does. Yeah, it does have a use. I wasn't just saving it for random reasons, because I just like having gallons of pleco poop around the place. Feed me, Seymour! Feed me now! Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact is that the courgettes are, well, they started sprouting Monday. And they're like that already. Basically, I got Coke bottles and cut them in half, turn them upside down as cloches on top to protect the seedlings. And I'm going to have to take them off because they're growing bigger than the Coke bottles. I'm a big green mother from outer space, and I'm bad. And if anyone doesn't know, that's another movie. Was that not Big Trouble in Little China? What was it? Oh, Little Shop of Horrors. That's the one. And the song I was singing earlier that I asked if anyone could guess, and no one managed to, was Pulling Teeth by Green Day. Most house plants seem like little nutrients, whereas aquarium plants are the opposite. Someone just try to eat them. Yeah. At least he's getting his greens in. Trick to that is to grow cactuses. I think mistake. I say mistake. I mean, what a lot of people do is when they water houseplants, they're using tap water, which is chlorinated. Whereas if you're using fish tank water, obviously it's dechlorinated. I know for a fact if you water a Venus flytrap with chlorinated water, you will kill it very quickly. Like literally 2 waterings will kill it. So you want rainwater. They recommend use rainwater to water your Venus flytrap. Yeah, I just use fish tank water and flies. Yeah, I'll say some plants can take it, some can't. But yes, water change water, very useful. In fact, that was one of my money-making ideas, was to sell water change water to like greenhouses and people who grow plants in their basement and things like that for improved cropping. But it didn't really go very well. I think I sold 2 bottles of it. I mean, it's a good thing, but people don't seem to realise. Kill the Venus flytraps, keep it outside. It rained in Ford. They drowned them. Yeah, I mean, they are kind of bog plants, but they don't live underwater. Best of all is some of my house plants having a broken leaf and they produce toxic sap. Toxic sap. Yeah. It's autistic. It's not something I've had much, if any, real experience of. Coping with autism, dealing with autism. I don't know what the correct term is, so if I'm being offensive, I do apologise. I'm probably slightly autistic myself. Because I'm definitely not artistic. Cheryl, lovely Cheryl, always siphon my tanks and water cans and bottles from house plants and outdoor plants. It doesn't go to waste, and you don't pay for a sewage charge for pouring it down the sink either. Isn't the boy with the cat? Yeah, cats will do that as well. Yeah. So well, what you do is you grow cat grass, and they'll eat that, and they'll leave everything else alone. It's like no, they learn that they can eat the plant teeth in. They learn that they can eat the plants growing in the pots, and then they just devour the rest of them. Oh, speaking of which, saw a hilarious Ring doorbell video the other day where a bunch of goats escaped from a farm and they literally demolished this guy's front garden up to like goat height level. So there was like all the plants are gone, the shrubs, the trees, it was just everything at goat height level had gone below. Then they got onto his porch and were eating his boxes, window boxes and that kind of stuff. One of them accidentally rang the doorbell and they all ran away. Just literally, he got knocked down gingered by goats that had eaten all his plants. Got in the habit of using tank water for plants when we switched to the Python. We sometimes dip tank water for an in-between watering or for new plants. Yeah. Just give them a bit of a puddling. And Cheryl's down to 5 tanks instead of 13, just making your life a bit easier. Cheryl is at it. Reducing the number of tanks and the electric bill and the amount of work that goes into looking after them all. Rebecca's worked with autistic people willing to learn a lot. 2 things maybe a bit more literal are some of the best questions. Yeah, so how to put it? I struggled at school being in a class with classmates who didn't pick things up as quick as me. So whether I would do well with autistic people or special needs or differently learning or whatever the correct terms are, I do apologize. I'm a dinosaur. Probably not. There's loads of care home jobs around here. We don't want another Harold Chipman because that's all that's going to happen. Yeah, a spade is a spade. Yes. Summarising a very diverse disability, which is difficult to generalise, particularly women. Anything to do with the brain is completely different for every single person who's got anything. Which is why, to me, there is no normal. What is normal for a brain? because all of us are so different. You know, there is no normal. We've probably all got, at least in a mild form, some kind of syndrome or condition. I know I've got several. I've got two autistic teenagers volunteering at the Ark now, very engaged and dependable. Pets love both of them. That's all you can ask for, isn't it, Bob? Um, yeah. I said animals seem to be able to sense these things and just know. They it's like if there's something wrong, they know there's something wrong. They know to come and give you extra snuggles or licks or head rubs or whatever it is. Loves animals more than people. Yeah, that applies probably to most of us in chat though. That's most of us here, Alison, probably get on better with animals and people. That's what I really enjoy about the internet is you can have friends, you can have a chat like we are now. It's all good and fun, but as soon as you've had enough, you just click a button and it all goes away. It's very simple. Got some work being done in the house, damp course, electrics, window. Oh, God, that's a lot. Need to get the walls. Too much for me now carrying water. Bless you, Cheryl. You need to sort yourself out a slave or a punk of walla. A water change gimp. Normal seems to be what doesn't annoy society. Workaholics, yeah. Not healthy, but convenient for society. Yeah, true. Um, I always say, work to live, don't live to work. You can't take it with you, so there's no point dying a multimillionaire or billionaire or trillionaire or whatever. So, as long as you earn enough, make enough that you're comfortable, you can do the things you want to do within reason. Um, why work harder? I just don't see the point. Oh God, I'm getting all the notifications. I'm getting a notification to say that I haven't got any viruses. Yeah, thanks. Oh God. Why are so many people trying to do videos right now? Ricky's dad's a workaholic, 76, still works 2 a.m. Then you have me. Non-thinging notifications that they just go ping and annoy. Yeah, I'd say if I'm 76 and working, something's gone badly wrong with my life. I mean, plenty enough has gone wrong with my life as it is, but you know, if I'm that age. Dyslexia is a strange one. Have it, but from those strict symptoms, if you're creative and don't switch off. Yeah, I mean, Nadine, Mary's daughter, is dyslexic as well. She does struggle with words and letters getting jumbled up, but she's come on leaps and bounds the last few years. So she's figured out how to cope with it and deal with it. So Dad loves money. Yeah. Well, and on the upside, Ricky, you'll get a good chunk of it. um, yeah, so I've got no dependents, so fed up with people trying to see if music helps with dyslexia. I'd have thought you wouldn't want something that's going to take your concentration away from what you're trying to do. If you've got a problem with doing something, you don't want a distraction, if that makes sense to me. Spelling is okay, reading not too bad, and awful short-term memory, great long-term. Yeah, my reading's fine. It's fine because I haven't got dyslexia, thankfully. Sherry think you've got Asperger's, not your person. Yeah, we've all got, and it's not a defining line of this is this condition. Like your leg is either broken or it isn't. There's no in between. It's not the same with things up there because it's different for all of us. We all got different mixes of different things. That's what I think is now under autism. ADHD is meant to be similar. Yeah, so as far as I'm aware, I haven't got any. Haven't I haven't been diagnosed with anything, but I'm pretty sure I'm probably marginal on some things. Yeah, my memory's bad because of struggling to remember why. Yeah, no, it's too many concussions, too many drugs, and too much alcohol over the years. That's what's done for my memory. Yeah, instrumental probably work if he's got lyrics. Yeah, and you want something fairly calm, tranquil, not too complex, and no lyrics. Might work. All the walls are filled with tanks. Manage to move endless and fry and lemon plecker of the rack finally, so you dismantle the rack and you can see the wall now. And you can see the colour it is behind it. And a lot of everything in fish keeping, feel fish attract people who understand that animals are very different from us. Yeah, I mean, I came to fish keeping from being a fisherman, as it were. So I've come to it with knowledge of how to get certain species of fish to eat a bait, basically. Which, no, and it's simple things like, well, if I want to catch a crucian carp, what I've got to do is I've got to have a small hook bait on a small hook, presented very delicately, just touching the bottom of the lake, and fish as damn close to that patch of lilies as I can get. If I'm 18 inches away from the lilies, I won't get a single bite. Well, not from a crucian anyway. When you can tell what kind of fish are feeding by the type of bubbles that are coming up to the surface, that's kind of scary. Daughter was 28 when she got diagnosed with ADHD. School's let her down big time. Labelled as a troublemaker. Spent most of the time in school in isolation. That sucks. I got labelled as a troublemaker, but that's because I was bored. I'm that person that takes one time for the teacher explaining it to get it, but then if the teacher has to go through it 2 or 3 or 4 times for everyone else in the class to get it, yeah, by the second time I'm bored senseless and starting to cause trouble. Cope no different. People around me need I need my space and time. Like we all need me time and me space. Different people need different amounts. Some people can't bear being on their own. That would drive me absolutely crazy. Bob down to 77 aquatic tanks now, so walk sightings are still rare. Consolidated fish convert those tanks to reptile habitats. At least you don't have to water change your reptile habitat. Faked a doctor's report to have ADHD, so I got Adderall. Yeah. Label, I think, is less smart, but not entirely failing than other kids at school till diagnosis at age 8. Yeah, I mean, I'm 15 or 14 tanks running at the moment with a tub outside. And Chewie's here, Mr. Lunatic Fringe, the artist previously known as Chewie Ltd. Or Limited. Um, yes, school's weird. I mean, I was 8.5 when it was finally figured out I needed glasses. So I'd been out of school for 3.5 years, not being able to read the blackboard. Just learning by hearing because I couldn't read what was up there because it was all blurry. Um, yeah, just very short-sighted, nearsighted. Depends which side of the Atlantic you are. I think you cope with a few hundred tanks you wanted, but renting, yeah. I mean, say owning makes life easier. Um, if I knew, if I knew I could breed enough and sell enough every month that I wouldn't have to work again, I would have no issues setting up another rack, same as that. Add another 7 tanks to the mix. Um, and then say, okay, this is my job. But it's, yeah, I mean, if I say, obviously, I'm going to have to get a job part time. Because if I was working full time, there is no way I'd be able to run 15 tanks. Because when would I do the water changes? If you're working 8 hours a day, call that a 9 hour day plus travelling times, and you got to get home, have something to eat, and chill out for a couple of hours. That basically means if you're working Monday to Friday, that Saturday you've got to do your shopping, all your housework, all your water changes, everything else, and then Sunday you can relax and then start again on Monday. And I don't want to. I've done my years of working hard and doing that, and I don't want to do it again. Not with the water changes, with other stuff. I had landlords refuse me for either being a student or the animals at 25, not 18. So yeah, I am old enough to be your dad easily, Rebecca. Rather have a student with animals than a crackhead. Yeah, exactly. I mean, as Mary rents, and you know, it says no animals in the contract, no pets. But you know, because she's been there a couple of years, and there's been no issues at all. She's kept the place spick span, sparkling clean, tidy, no damage to anything. Anything that's gone wrong, she's reported it straight away, not complained when it's taken them more than 3 hours to get there. Built a good relationship. So they said, when she asked, they said, yeah, you can have a rabbit. Can't be an indoor rabbit. It's got to live outside. But obviously it can come indoors when need be for exercise and fuss time. But you can't just leave a rabbit in a hutch. So there's been a whole bunch of people turning up and whatever. So if I've missed anyone, hi, I didn't mean to. Bob is predicting that Chattanooga Ed will pop in. That'd be good to have the old Chattanooga Choo Choo. And I will sing that to Ed, don't you worry. Usually ask regarding animals just being safe. How loud will blame 200 litres on so much mould the attic was dripping. Yeah, that wasn't the fish tanks. That was something leaking upstairs. Yeah, that was a leaky roof, not a mold from fish tanks. Uh, they be very emotional for us both. Finally, know it was wrong. Then she calmed down a lot. Refuses to take the drugs for it. She hates feeling not herself. That I can understand. Um, Having been on fairly heavy prescription medication in the past for things, yeah, it's not fun. You know you're not yourself. It's not. It's one thing if they completely zombify you out and you're just not aware of anything. But when it's you're aware enough that you know you're not you, and the most important thing to any of us is ourselves, our sense of self. Yeah, that's not a good place to be in. So I don't blame her at all. Cheryl would love a reptile habitat, and Bob's giving her ideas on how to do it. Well, if you watch Bob's channel, Cheryl, he's got all sorts of very cool animals. He's, the chamois lions, in particular, are cool. Some of the snakes are gorgeous. I do like the fire skinks. They're very cool. Well, if I was going to do a reptile, it would be what is the easiest one? What is the most basic one? What is the cheapest one? So if when I kill it, it's not too bad of a problem. Not, oh my God, there's £300 gone down the drain because I fed the wrong kind of vitamin or something like that. And yeah, easier not to carry too much water. That's why I only use 3-gallon UK buckets, not 5-gallon. Got a Western hognose in anaconda phase, no issue, just a drama queen. Fire skinks hide a lot, worth it when not hiding. No, say I was watching the stream when you got them, Bob. So yeah, they're very pretty skinkies. Uh, was it fire skinks or was it fire salamanders? I had one of them there at my LFS, the big one, black with like orange splotches on them. But yeah, they were very hidey uppy too. Uh, I can quite imagine that, Cheryl. But I say you're only little, so don't get anything too big. Because yeah, if you got someone a bit big, it might see you as lunch. By salamanders hide 24/7 to the point you think they're dead, yeah, or escaped, or just gone through a wormhole into a different galaxy, that kind of thing. They're a bit like clown plecos, really. Now I mentioned that Mandy's going to turn up. Reptiles, not amphibians. I always get that wrong. Well, technically, I do keep amphibians because I've got frogs in the pond. I say in the pond. I've got frogs in the garden pretty much every time I go out there lately because it's been rather moist and damp outside. But if you go out after dark, I guarantee there'll be something hop over your foot. Come out and stay out a bit during feedings and water changes. Well, they must be happy and not feeling threatened. I reckon that's Tibby's had a good chat with them. That's what that is. Tibby's giving him a good meow. My snake is always active while watching me. When the guinea pigs are out in the room, I might let her out more. just because you scares them. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Guinea pigs are snake food. I'm pretty sure guinea pigs are on the menu for whichever snakes live locally, or in Peru. Are there snakes in Peru? I'd guess there would be. There's technically parts of it are the Amazon basin or the Amazon rainforest, unless guinea pigs come from the Andes, and there aren't any snakes up there. Love a basilisk. You mean an actual basilisk, or an animal called a basilisk? And some tortoises. Some walking ashtrays. But tortoises and turtles are basically the reptile equivalent of an insect. They wear half a skeleton on the outside. 8 snakes of 5 species now. Snakes everywhere, but yeah, Ireland and Antarctica. Yeah, there's a chance there might be some snakes in Ireland now. Escapees or ones that have accidentally made it over. But yeah, there's definitely no snakes in Antarctica. Unless they suddenly find one that has developed wool. The Antarctic wool viper. Yeah, spine and ribs form the shell, yeah. So half the skeleton's on the outside. It does make you kind of wonder, when does it go from being outside to inside, and how does that crossover work? Happy Cara is paying a lot of attention to the breeder box. Yes. Are you getting peckish, are you? They do. I mean, they're not any harm to anything. There are some escapee plecklets in there. I've seen them a couple of times, not to catch, but yeah, there's also baby mollies in there as well. But yeah. Yeah, he's just. Yeah. That's just Bert's looking. Ain't going to do anything. Had a basilisk lizard in the pet shop for years, golden one. Loved it. Eventually sold. Yeah. Here's the problem with. One of the problems with the pet shop is you buy in animals, and then sometimes they might sit around for years, which I think is one of the reasons I stopped selling puppies and kittens. Because when they're no longer puppies and kittens, nobody wants to buy them, and then they get shipped off to a shelter, and the new lot come in. Worked with a frill lizard and a water dragon, not tame. When they want to run, they will, and they're quick. Yeah, so it's one of those things where I'd want a smaller lizard as a first one, just because less scary. But then there's well, if it's smaller, it's going to be easier for it to escape and get lost somewhere. And then I wake up at 3 wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning with a lizard asleep on my face. And oh crap. So Bob, basilisk might be in the future, which is the clown agara pair, Indonesian blue tongue skink, and the fire skinks. Pet store animals that aren't as tame as soft toys just don't sell well as adults. Yeah, they don't. Which is why they also don't keep fully grown fish. Because if people saw how big some of the fish they buy would get, they might not buy the Oscars then, or even things like convict cichlids, like a carpet python or green tree python to work on the confidence in the future. Cool. No, it's not a tree python you've got, is it, Bob? The green one. Is that an African leaf snake or something? The one that's pretty much the same colour as my lighter. Bright green. Only 1.5 metre according to Owata for the largest catfish. Yeah, got to remember that. Yeah. Yeah, 1.5 metres, 4 feet for the catfish only grow to 4 feet. Really? Maybe it's some of the medium-sized species, but not the big ones. Perhaps they got the decimal point in the wrong place. Perhaps they should have had 15.0. That'd be one hell of a catfish at 45 foot long, though, wouldn't it? Um, Same distance you need to give cyclists on the road now. Yeah, you'd think, yeah. How much space do we need to give cyclists? One catfish. Oh, well, I mean, Americans refuse to use metric. They'll use anything but metric. So, yeah, measuring it in catfishes has probably would get done. Yeah, imagine a 15-meter wells. Jeez, that would be a definite man eater, wouldn't it? There'd be no two ways about it. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if there was one that size in the Ebro somewhere, but nobody's managed to catch it because nobody's using a big enough bait to catch it. And most of them they catch on soap in there, I think. Yes, literally they use blue soap as a bait. Wouldn't mind a large fish instead of tiddlers, something you actually see without putting the reading glasses on. Oh dear. Yeah. So I don't think I'll probably go much bigger than the electric blue Acaras. Um, just breeding purposes. I mean, there is someone relatively local to me who is breeding jaguar cichlids because they thought it'd be a good idea to get a pair of jaguar cichlids and breed them because then they can sell them to all the shops. They've got hundreds of jaguar cichlids, and they're realizing the shops only want one or two every few months because not many people have tanks big enough for them. Or if they sell them, chances are they're going to be coming back in a few months when they're that size and eating everything else in the tank. Yeah, this is it. Toddler tanks might catch on. Yeah, it might be a good idea. Yeah, well, I think a lot of people do have unexpected. Well, what they expect they're going to get for selling their fish they breed and what they actually get. There's a big discrepancy. For some reason, people do think that shops are going to pay a lot more than they will. Recently picked up a group of juvenile yellow Acaras grown out in 1 8. Oh, they're going to be gorgeous, Bob. Yeah, and so people expect, like, well, if you're selling them for £10, then surely you should give me 9. No, you're going to get £2 or £3. People asking for 300 more for a large run of the mill caught. Yes, it's just a carp. And, especially a big one like that, is going to be very used to its conditions that it's being kept in. And you change things and you're likely to kill it. Chewy, anything new in the land of spooks? Not locally, here anyway. Just the usual stuff going on, which I know. I was talking to Mary about this earlier. It was like, you watch some of the things and people are going, oh yeah, if you go, let us know what your ghost stories are, let us know your experiences, and we'll put them up on the show. And I always think, no, I ain't got anything, nothing. And I was sort of sitting there thinking today, well, it's like what I would consider just a normal day, right? Is a ghost cat jumping up on the bed to have a nap with me, and a shadow figure, and then footsteps. To me, it's just a normal day. To some people, that would be a life-changing experience. So, it's one of those things. And thank you very much, Dan, for the linky to the Thetford Warreners Lodge. I mean, even if not for the spookiness, just the history and what it was and is. And it was interesting enough, I thought. Well, it was to me anyway. But yeah, we went to a relatively local church this week, today, which is most definitely haunted. Um, didn't get any big things happen, more just vibe and feeling that we know of. I did do an exterior video, an interior video, and I actually did a paranormal investigation video where basically I sat in the haunted pew and asked some questions and waved the camera around a bit and hoped. Nothing that I noticed happened, but big difference between Pet Shop Koi and those read by master breeders in Japan. Pete Ponzio is invited to go to farms. Love the history of the Warreners Lodge. Thank you, Bob. I'd say it's not that long ago, and you think, oh yeah, rabbit was a really important part of the local economy. People were paid to catch rabbits for a living. Some churches are creepy. One I grew up bothers me. Yeah, the one I grew up with bothers me, but that's because I was forced to go there every Sunday. Caging a cow party, that'll work too. Yeah. Yeah, basically this one of the priests, yeah, wasn't really a religious man. He just decided to become a priest because it was something to do, I think. Free house, job for life, that kind of thing. And he was a drunk and a philanderer and lewd and lascivious. He got defrocked, then refrocked, and has been known to undo the bras of ladies who sit in a certain pew in that church. And on that note, she loves creepy church in the UK. I'm saying at the Great Rock Room in Edinburgh. Oh yeah, there's plenty of creepy churches around here. Definite goth ambience. Well, it is a church. Probably got gothic arches. Yeah, Dan's got a breeze. Human fry. Get ready. Fist bump to the human fry. And I'll say it is that time. The lights are turning off. They've gone off. And my time is up. Thank you very much for the super chat, Dan. Much appreciated. I did remember I actually turned the super thanks on this week. So if you watch a video, you can actually do a super thank on the video, which is like a super chat, but just for a video. Memberships are open as always. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Notification bell. Thank you everyone for being here and putting up with my dribble for another couple of hours. Have fun. Enjoy your hobbies, whatever they are. Love your family. Stay safe. Peace out. Rock on. Bye-bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Ah.